Water is life, and without water, nothing happens and nothing works. Imagine if you had the power to change the way the water system works in Victoria, not only for now, but for the next 20, 30, or even 50 years' time. Population in Victoria is growing. Businesses are expanding, the economy is expanding. And yet every year, progressively, we get less water, less rain. We need to make a lot less water go a lot further. This is a challenge that we haven't faced since the beginning of Federation. So instead of teaching you about this, we've decided to make a game. Now, it's called a serious game because it's about a serious topic, but it doesn't mean the playing of it has to be particularly serious. You're allowed to have as much fun as you want. There are 5 groups, and you will be designated into one of those 5 groups and then learn a whole bunch of stuff about what that group is dealing with and how they're trying to make the water system work for everybody. The 5 groups are water corporations who manage the pipes and the infrastructure that gets the water where you want it. Traditional owners who have a real commitment to looking after the environment. Agribusiness, who grows the food and the fibre that we need to live, but need lots of water to do that. Local governments, who represent the people who use the water, your shire or your council. And last but not least, the state government, whose responsibility it is to manage the whole system. You will be one of those 5 groups of people with others in your cohort. But most importantly, you need to negotiate with people from other groups and come up with common solutions that work to protect our water system for everybody and for the future. Each of those 5 groups, local government, state government, agribusiness, traditional owners, and of course, water corporations, all need to continue to survive in the game that's called winning. Each of these groups has a different way of winning the game. Traditional owners win if they can ensure that the environment is looked after. Local government will win if they can ensure that their people are getting good quality water when they want it and they get re-elected. Agribusinesses want to make money, so when they're making more money, they win. If you become a representative of a water corporation, you win if you can make sure that you have enough money to keep the pipes and the infrastructure and the irrigation running for everybody so the water gets where it needs to go without going bust, because it's not cheap. If you are from state government, you win if you get a promotion and are able to have more influence over the system than you had before because you've proven you're good at your job. Those 5 groups all want slightly different things. You can all win, but you need to negotiate and come up with some creative ways of working together. There's one key thing, though, that's really important to understand. You can all lose. You might win individually, but you all lose together. How do you think that would happen in the water system? If the dams go empty and we run out of water, the game ends. And you can have a conversation about how you got there. That's the fundamental piece. No water, no game. You need to keep enough water in the system for everyone to get what they need. And at the same time, make sure that your group gets what it needs to win the game. So you can see there's a little tension sometimes between the different outcomes that you're trying to accomplish. Your job is to talk with your colleagues and decide how to act together. State government and water corporations can build desalination plants, water treatment plants, renewable energy parks, all kinds of great stuff. Traditional owners and local governments, they don't have that kind of money or resources, but there are other things they can do. They can run campaigns. They can advocate, and they can leverage, and they can pressure, and they can negotiate. The outcome of the game is completely up to you. If you win, it's because you made the right calls and made the right deals. If you run out of water, it's because you didn't. The game itself runs in rounds of 6 minutes. So then they'll stop the game for a minute, you can have a chat, and then there'll be another 6 minutes, and that goes 5 times. Every 6 minutes represents about 3 years. There are 5 measures that let you know how well you're going. The most important, obviously, is how much water is in the dams. Are they full or are they nearly empty? In which case, you need to make some serious decisions very quickly to get that water level back up. The second is, how good is the environment going? Is it getting better or is it getting worse? The third is, what is your carbon footprint? How many greenhouse gas emissions does it take to get water from one place to another and make sure it's clean? This is important for some of you because that's going to impact climate change down the track. The fourth is, what level of water restrictions do you have? Are you allowed to have a shower 2 or 3 times a day or only once every 3 days? And the fifth is really obvious. How clean is your drinking water? Is it really clean or is it deadly? And don't get me wrong, there are some cities in some countries where the water coming out of the tap will kill you. As a water manager, the second thing you need to know about, obviously, is how much rain is there? Are the dams filling up? Are we having floods or are we having droughts? So at the beginning of every one of those 6-minute rounds, there's a button that rolls a dice and tells you how much rain you're going to get over the next 3 years. 6 minutes. There might be lots, which is great, because it can fill your dams up. Or there might be a drought and none, in which case you better think seriously about making sure there's enough water when people need it. The third thing that you want to know about is really exciting because it kind of puts a tweak on the whole game. These are wild cards. These are crazy things that could happen and may not happen, but if they do, they change everything. A classic example would be a bushfire. Big bushfires, like we had in 2019, that burn whole sections of water catchments, have a huge impact on the water system and how much water is available. Pathogens in the water supply. There's a whole bunch of really unexpected and interesting things that might happen as the game progresses, so be ready for those because you need to be agile and adept and very quick at changing your strategy when one of those things comes your way. So here's your opportunity. Practice those skills, learn how good you are at them, and learn a bit about the water sector in Victoria and what it's going to take to look after our resources into the future. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the game.